So I feel that people wonder sometimes if there's anything more to life than just living everyday life. And not to say that there's not goodness and excitement and in living a normal life as a normal person and doing normal things, but for me, once I got to a point where I kind of went into a space where I started seeing the mundanity of everyday life and the kind of the portion of, or the part of observing the same things going on all the time and wondering to myself, how is it that all these people are always so caught up in this? Like, how do people really go about doing these normal things all the time and not get bored or not like think that there's something more? Like, how could somebody go through their whole life and not come to a space where they wonder to themselves if there's anything more to life than just acting human? Meaning, like, if there's any kind of realm beyond what they've been shown. Like, for me, it didn't take very long before I got to a point where I was like so done with everything, just being so mundane and just repetitive and just like, I don't know how to put it, human, I guess. Like, when I don't know, even like on one level I can go and I can watch these, people doing human things. Like, I can go to a park and I can see people doing their thing, walking around with their family, or like playing baseball or soccer or different sports and things. And on one level, I can feel their love and their excitement and their happiness. On another level, I know that they're just performing these tasks like a programmed robot or something. And it's not a robotic kind of a thing. Like, obviously they got emotions and feelings like a normal human or whatever, but like, I can tell that it's all played out by a karmic cycle. It's something that's being done through a propitiated set of like actions that have been performed throughout many experiences and incarnations, if you want to put it that way. But the point that I'm making is that there's so many people who are so caught up in what they're doing, playing out the story of life, that they never really question what is life in general and what's the purpose of life, until they get to a point of suffering that's so much that it forces you into that perspective. And I guess that's the answer, is that the only way to be able to get to that point is through suffering, and to realize over and over again that there is no pleasure in any of the things that you do externally. And really the only way to reside in happiness and pleasure inside of the self is to take the attention inwards and to find the source of happiness and pleasure inside of yourself. And on one level I get that. On another level, I just wonder to myself sometimes, like, is there any way to wake people up without having to shake them, if that makes any sense? Like, is it possible to be able to bring somebody into the consciousness of recognizing that there's something beyond themselves, and that they are something higher than just a human being a human being that is being a human being? So basically, like, to get their perception beyond the body without having to put them through massive amounts of suffering. I guess I just sit and make these videos and just post them up or whatever. I wonder to myself, even with this though, like, I don't even know if I'm gonna post this or not. Obviously it's a decent little like random discussion or whatever, but like, I feel like I'm not really going anywhere with this one. And there was no topic in the beginning. I'm just wondering to myself, I don't know. Maybe other people wonder these things. Who knows? Just going through this space of observing everybody and everything. It looks, I don't know, man. Feels kind of like walking through a previous life, just like watching from the outside. Kind of like if you would think, like, after somebody has died, how they would go back and they would look through their life again. But instead of me looking through my own life, I'm just watching other people's lives, but I see the connections to my own life. So in a sense, I'm watching my own life, but just through other people. I don't know. It's kind of trippy, kind of weird, but interesting, I guess. I guess getting to a point where I was just like, I did so many austerities, I did so many different things in order to be able to put myself into a space where I was disconnected from everything, prepared myself for everything, got myself to a point where I just accept everything. I accept death, I accept life, I accept things as they are, as much as I can. Who knows until I come to the moment of death how much I actually accept death. I just know that I've experienced things that were very similar to that, and I accepted them as much as I could, so I don't know. We'll figure that one out whenever it comes, but every moment I can sit here and I can prepare myself, you know? And prepare myself just to recognize and remember that life and death are part and parcel of the same thing, and that this isn't just the end or the beginning. This is just another experience in which the body and the mind will go beyond eventually, and the body will fall away, but the mind will also kind of fall with the body. I mean, like, really the soul, or like the perception, conscious perception will follow and move into another experience, and that will just be another experience, transition experience, I guess. But I guess I just like, I go through these spaces of just experiencing death through life and life through death in a way, and like, just not through death, but like I start to realize that life and death are two sides of the same coin. So it's like all these different kinds of experiences that people talk about in their near-death experience and their life and death experiences or whatever, like, it seems very similar to something that you would experience anyways, just experiencing life. And if you observe your life going about it, then you start to see that really there is no such thing as really time the way that we think there is, and that life and death are all happening at one time, and there's nothing to fear about death because it's just another experience the same way that this is. I don't know. There's really no point in fear at all, I guess. I don't know. I'll talk on this later. I think this is just interesting, though. I guess that later on I'll talk about the death, like the kind of like connection between life and death, and the connection between seeing, I guess, what they would call the bardos, and my experience with that throughout life. Yeah.